everyone, Dana here. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about growing up in rural America.
チャンネル登録よろしくね。
When I first moved to Japan, I realized that childhood in Japan and in kind of the countryside in America is totally different. I was very surprised. In Japan, children are often alone. They will commute, take the train, the bus by themselves to go to school. And also, I noticed that there were a lot of groups of high school or middle school friends together in the city at a cafe or going shopping together, and this was such a different experience than what I had as a child and a teenager. And like I said, it was really surprising. So I wanted to share more about my experience. So to give some background information first, I grew up in Maine, which is a state all the way northeast in America, and it's fairly countryside. So where I grew up was suburbia, which is basically an area that's only for houses. So I want to start by talking about the good things, the positive aspects of growing up in a suburb in America. First of all, it was fairly safe. So my parents let my sister and I leave the house and go play with our friends whenever we wanted. We knew a lot of the people in the neighborhood, and there was lots of kids to play with. So almost everyone that lived in that area was a family with young children. So on my street, my sister and I had so many friends, and we would all hang out together. And this was before cell phones, so we would have to go to each other's houses and ring the doorbell, right, and say,
is Mariah home? Can we play?
We did that like almost every day, usually outside. One friend had a pool and a trampoline, so we loved to go swimming and jump on the trampoline. And another friend had a tree house. There was just lots of things to do together outside. So childhood, I would say, like as a young child, it was a very fun place to grow up. Let's go to the negative side. As a teenager, it sucked. It was such a boring place to live. So the problem, in my opinion, the biggest problem with living in the suburbs in America is that you have no independence unless you can drive. So because it's only houses, you can't just like, oh, I'm gonna go to the convenience store and get something to eat, or I'm gonna go to the cafe or the shopping mall and hang out with my friends, and like there's none of that. Because, for example, the closest grocery store was about 20 minutes away. Shopping mall was about 30 minutes away, right, by car. And kind of city, Portland, which had a bigger shopping mall, was about 45 minutes driving away. So I couldn't do any of the things that teenagers usually want to do. In suburbia, I mean, even in some cities in America, there's really no public transportation. You can't take a bus somewhere, you can't take a train somewhere. There's nothing. It's only cars. And in my neighborhood, we didn't even have sidewalks. If you really wanted to, I suppose you could have walked like an hour to get to the nearest restaurant. But you're gonna end up walking on a busy street with no sidewalk and cars going really fast. Like it's not safe, and it's also an extremely boring walk because you're walking from the middle of nowhere to middle of nowhere. And I think that that's the reason why these kind of areas have such a high rate of, unfortunately, drug usage and also teenage pregnancies. So a lot of kids would find an older friend or an older sibling to buy them alcohol, because you have to be 21 to buy alcohol in America. Not in every state, but at least in Maine. So they would have someone buy them alcohol, and then because it's illegal, they would secretly drink, and nobody's kind of paying attention. Nobody's watching them, right? They drink too much, and kids have to go to the hospital because they get alcohol poisoning. And yeah, that happened to my neighbors multiple times. So, if you're thinking about studying abroad in America, I think that you should be careful about which kind of place you choose. If you want to have kind of a typical American family experience, then the suburbs might be the best place for you. And especially if you like the outdoors, right? If you want to see nature, suburbs are good. But if you want more independence and freedom to be able to go do things on your own and, have a lot of friends and social life with people your own age, I think being in a city would be better. So you have to kind of understand what kind of experience you want and choose accordingly.
チャンネル登録よろしくね。
So that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next video.